But on each occasion, we got derailed. I am someone जो बड़ा ढीठ है, लगा हुआ है अभी भी. When I came back and I got my first public office in government, so I opted for planning ministry because I thought that I have the education and the professional background, maybe we can do something for the country. So we came up with Vision 2010. And in 97, 98, we were talking of knowledge economy. And all these things, what you heard, they're all put in that Vision 2010 in 97, 98. But after 2 years, the government was overthrown, and so the vision was also thrown out of the window. But what little we did during those 2 years has had a profound impact on Pakistan's current science, technology and IT infrastructure. At that time, we started 2 programs of PhDs in science and technology and IT with 5,000 scholarships overseas, 5,000 local. And those 10,000 scholarships have provided us that critical mass of human resource on which our academia is probably surviving today. Otherwise, there would have been a blackout. Likewise, we did the first national IT policy. We set up National Database Organization, which is our biggest, organization of database in the country. Today is Nadra, and things like those. But later on, we got derailed. But then in 2013, when we came back, we again started with Vision 2025. And again, looking at the future challenges, preparing Pakistan for the new Industrial Revolution 4.0, we started to build building blocks, national centers. You just saw not just artificial intelligence, cyber security, big data, cloud computing, automation and robotics in 2017. Imagine at that time, not too many people were talking about these disciplines in Pakistan. But we set these centers along with the National Center for GIS and Space Technology. Also a National Center for Applied Mathematics, because this is all about algorithms. So similarly, a National Center for Genomics, National Center for Nanotechnology, we budgeted, but when the government changed, that was unfunded, it could not materialize. But now this year, we are setting up National Center for Quantum Computing, National Center for New Manufacturing, and National Center for Nanotechnology to create that ecosystem with which Pakistan will move into future, and we will be ready for this revolution. What I would say that the challenge, while we have a human resource challenge before us, that Pakistan faces this enormous task of giving its youth education, but given the size of our population, whatever critical mass we have, I think is still larger than many European countries. So let us, turn that weakness into an advantage and see and look at those numbers. We still have a larger pool of human resource, educated, literate, IT skilled than probably Singapore has. So then probably Dubai has. So why cannot we leverage that human resource that we have and create a new Asian miracle in this century? And lastly, I would say that it is, a great inflection point for us as a nation. Last year, we had a great success in Markai-Haq, and that made us very proud. But history tells us that countries cannot survive, cannot defend their sovereignty for too long without having strong economies. So the logical conclusion of our victory in Markai-Haq is that we have to now win Markai Taraqi. The Markai development has to be won. And that can only happen if we learn from other successful countries. How other countries have been able to achieve that success. they all, just as we talk of digital ecosystem, there is also a development ecosystem without which no plan, no policy, no program can yield any result. And my most common example is that you may have best of the best seeds, but that seed is no guarantee of the harvest unless that seed is planted in the right season, in the right soil with moisture. And once you plant the seed, you have to give stability to the soil so that the seed can germinate, the seed can grow as a plant, the plant can have the fruit and can give you the harvest. But if after planting the seed, you continue to plow the land, that seed will never germinate. So if you look at all the success stories in the world, starting from Japan to South Korea to Singapore to Malaysia to Vietnam to Bangladesh to India to Turkey to GCC, any country, there are four basic factors on which we must, as a nation, have a very solid and very committed understanding. If you go to China, they have taught every citizen very simple lesson that development is not possible without stability and social solidarity. They say those are our red lines. We will never compromise on stability. We will never compromise on social solidarity. So anyone who creates disruption for stability and anyone who puts any disharmony in our society, the system will take care of that, person or group or whoever. But we will not let anyone disrupt our ecosystem of stability. So if you look at all these countries, you will find there are four pillars on which the whole ecosystem of development stands. First and foremost is peace. Without peace in human history, there has been no progress. Thousands of years. Conflict is antithesis of progress, So you cannot have development if you have conflict. So first and foremost is we must ensure peace. Second, stability. There is not a single case in human history where any society or nation has developed with instability and uncertainty. Three, successful countries translated their stability into continuity of policies for at least 10 years because policies do not germinate before 10 years. In USA, all successful administrations complete 2 terms. Similarly, our neighboring country, 10 years of Manmohan Singh, 15 years of Modi, 25 years transformed India. In Bangladesh, 15 years of Hasina Wajid allowed that stretch for policies, they became an export-led economy. In Malaysia, Mahathir, 22 years, gave them 2 decades stretch for that transformation to take place. So if we continue to play development in T20 mode, well, it can be adventure. You will have lot of sixes to see, chauke chakke lagenge, but destination will not be achieved. Development is a test match. You have to play it with the patience and the temperament of the 5-day test match. That alone guarantees success. So every successful ecosystem has that continuity. And finally, commitment to modernization and reform. Any system that does not continuously adapt to new demands or new changes also becomes obsolete. We read in history that there used to be dinosaurs on planet Earth. So one used to wonder, how could such giant, creatures just be wiped out from face of the earth? But we have seen in our own lifetime 2 dinosaurs being wiped out before our eyes, Nokia and BlackBerry. They were huge giants, dinosaurs of their time. Probably 10 years ago or 15 years ago, everyone sitting in this room would be carrying a Nokia phone. But how many of you have a Nokia phone today? So this is what, complacency does to any system. So we have to also be ready for winning the innovation game, and that alone will then guarantee success. Otherwise, the pace of change has become so fast that the moment you even stand to wonder what is changing, you are left by maybe decades behind. So therefore, we have to build in this engine of innovation in our culture, in our society, and that is why we are now going to the very basics. We are very soon having a new national curriculum summit this month, in which we are trying to redesign the whole curriculum, how to move away from memorization, rote learning, to critical thinking based learning. And it is very sad that we today are facing a situation when we were taught all the right answers. We lost our epistemology of learning and knowledge that Quran taught us. If you look in Quran, nowhere Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered us or commanded us to believe in Him. How did God converse with us in Quran? Don't you look at the vapors rising from the oceans? Don't you see how they form clouds? Don't you see how those clouds form rain? How that rain makes barren lands green? Don't you see the movement of the stars? Don't you see how day and night change? Don't you see how ships are afloat in the oceans? And then it says, there are signs for those who observe and who reflect, who use their akal. There are signs for those who have basarat and who have akal, who can observe and who can apply their mind. So, till we were observing, till we were questioning the creations in the universe and we were trying to find answers, we were at the forefront of knowledge. Recently, I happened to visit Spain, and I visited Alhambra and Cordoba and all those places. And it was a very moving experience that for 300 years, those places were the lighthouse of knowledge, because the scholars there were getting their inspiration from what our religion taught us to look at universe, to solve the puzzles of the universe and reflect on the signs of God in universe. And they were the knowledge givers. And if at that time there were Nobel Prizes, probably 7 out of 10 Nobel Prizes would have gone to Muslim scientists. But then we lost that tradition. So that is where we need to come back and start to have, reflection, inquiry, research in our education, in our work, and be continuous champions of innovation. That alone is a guarantee for success. And if we will not take up that tradition, so we will only be consumers of others' knowledge. So we have to become producers of knowledge. And for that we have to reignite our engine of inquiry. I always tell our teachers that now you must train your students to ask questions, ask smart questions, because it is only through questioning that this machine starts to activate. Otherwise, people spend their lifetime hardly using 10% of the capacity of this supercomputer that sits in our minds. So I hope that, this artificial intelligence or the new digital knowledge revolution actually changes the paradigm from industrial age, where muscle power was the real power. Now it's no longer muscle power, it is the brain power. Whoever will have superior brain power will lead the way. And you saw in the charts, because this is the biggest danger. These technologies and revolutions will not converge, but actually make the contrast and the difference much more amplified if countries like us did not proactively